Hello! Once again, this camera is not focusing on my face. It's focusing on the microphone. Oh, and I've got an echo. Sorry about that. There was feedback too. So my A6400 here, I've never had... Why is it focused on my hand? I've never had issues with its autofocus. I've used it for everything. I get a microphone that needs to be in the frame and suddenly it's focusing on the microphone instead of my face, even though it's set up with face detect autofocus. Like, it's trained on my face. What if I do something like this, where it's completely off camera? There we go. Now it's trained on my face, right? Or now it's showing up my face, right? Yeah, now it works. I can't do manual focus because I'm always, like this one specifically I wanted autofocus because I am always like moving around in this setup. It's the one camera in my life I wanted to be autofocus. It's really bizarre, but it is focused now. Cool. Welcome to a Twitch stream. I haven't done a Twitch stream in months. Turns out having a baby makes streaming fairly difficult. Who knew? Hey, technically Alex with the Twitch Prime resub 3-month streak. Thank ya. Woo! Thank you very much. Looks like my alert box needs adjusted here. I'm also working. I started setting up a new stream layout and never really got it finished. So the point of today's stream is I'm completely revamping a lot to do with this retro room setup. It's been like this I've had it set up mostly the same for quite a while, and then I've made some changes recently, expecting that I would get to stream more. I'm testing a new condenser microphone, which is gonna screw up my focus again. Just be out of focus stream, the out of focus stream. I upgraded cameras. I have a top monitor up here now. I can actually show you back cam. I've got a top monitor up here. I've got a whole lot that was going on. And then I have a few different camera angles. I've got the overhead one still. I've got the one over here that still needs some color adjustment, but that way I have a separate view. Thank you for the resub, Hunter. And then I even have a turntable camera view for when I'm playing music. Oh. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Apparently my cameras weren't even muted yet. Anyway, clearly a lot is work in progress here. But the exciting thing is that I'm getting a BVM. I'm getting the BVM D24, which is a professional CRT. It's one of the highest quality ones. It is like, I had like my dream CRT that I wanted, and this is a step above it. It is widescreen. It supports 240p through 1080i, but it's still all analog, so it's not an HD CRT. All, you know, low input latency, all of that. And it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's completely recapped and refurbished and in immaculate condition. It's getting delivered on Friday. It's going right here. Sunday for Father's Day, my dad and I actually rebuilt my entire, or not rebuilt, we built an entire custom TV stand to put here that's going to be taller so that it's more in eye level, excuse me, and it's going to support the 113-pound weight of that CRT. So, in order for us to set that up, which we're going to be setting up the stand tomorrow, we gotta get rid of this setup. So obviously I'm not tearing down the whole streaming setup or I won't be able to stream. Thank you for the follow. But I do have to tear it all apart. That's some mess. This is the cleanest room in my house. There is no mess. I mean, there's stuff on the table, but all of that is set up as it's supposed to be. That's a dedicated TV cart. I've got a stand back there that has vinyl storage and stuff. Like, that's my active table. And then I have a couple things we're going to unbox specifically in this video. But otherwise, this room stays completely clean and unmessy. Of all the rooms to talk about there being a mess in this house, this is not the one. Oh, mass. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that is what we're starting today, is just tearing out all of my game consoles so that we can slide this out and pop the new TV stand in tomorrow. Someone said, Real Ace Hardware, I just got a new audio cassette recorder for $5 and I'm using it to listen to some audio tapes. Nice. Reaper's Lantern, I became a streamer because of you. Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying it. It's hard to read the small chat over here, okay? You can't really scale the chat box in OBS, so sometimes I have to be like, "What'd you say, child? What did you say? I can't read your chat messages." But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. It may not be super entertaining if that's not the kind of thing you're interested in, but you can see the consoles I have hooked up now. We can chat for a couple hours. I've got about 2 hours that I can go here for a little bit. And we're gonna, you know, do some cleaning up here. What is the font for that? Just chatting, Henny. It's TW Cinti, I believe. And I've got a couple cool things to unbox and show off as well. Also, we have a new lightning bolt neon, courtesy of my wife for Father's Day. Hell yeah. Can't wait till I have more space to put up some bigger neon signs. Like, I want an Xbox and a PlayStation 1 and a GameCube one, maybe. I want some more blues and purples, because this is one giant mass of red neon. So I need some, like, blues and purples and stuff to kind of counteract it. Thank you for the sub, Mike Bridegam? Not certain. I apologize. This stream, I wish, was sponsored by Sunkist Soda. You ever get into Smash Melee? No, I never had a whole lot of Nintendo consoles, so never got tons into Smash. I enjoy playing Smash a little bit, but I'm not super great at it, and it's not something I spent a whole lot of time in, but I appreciate the appeal for sure. How's the baby doing? Baby's doing alright. Keeping us up. Sleep is tough, but he's doing alright. Alright, so first stream I'm able to tune into. Well, welcome aboard. Things seem to be running smoothly, despite the fact that I haven't really touched this setup. Alright, and the fact that we're tearing it down. So let's get that going. Oh no! Right cam, you can't really see anything. You can't really see anything from this view. I'll have to tweak this, because it's a camera up here. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Maybe we'll add some contrast, and then we can get going. Like I said, I don't have forever. You need a bigger place for a pure retro room. So we are planning on moving. We were hoping for it to be this year. It's probably not going to be until next year at this point, realistically now, because of COVID and things like that. But we're planning on moving, and the goal is to have a 2-car garage that I turn into a dedicated studio, pseudo-office space, as well as the retro room streaming space. So, like, a big chunk of it will be retro room stuff and streaming stuff, and then it'll have, like, desks for tutorials, and then lots of space for shooting B-roll and things like that. Glad to have both hands free again. Okay. Alright, so let's work on this right side camera here. Does that show you what you need to see? Well, I swear these stupid magic arms are useless, man. They never hold cameras where I want to. I don't know why it's super watched out either, but that's fine. Alright, we may just rely on this camera for a little bit, maybe. Or what about overhead view? What the hell is happening to this webcam? Quality.
I'm gonna get
no idea why that's happening. Any idea if graphics cards that are soon to be announced will have any hardware encoding for VP9 or hardware decoding of AV1? I'll say yes. Just generally, yes. I think there was a sub notification there. I just missed it. Do I have an event list over here? No, just a follow from Tindo. Thank you for the follow. Let's see if we can get... I was relying on... I really thought this would work. I might sabotage my turntable cam. Hang on one sec. Because obviously this one looks like ass. Like, you probably don't want to look at this for very long.
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
Troy Duck with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. Holy cow. All right, let's go. Let's try this camera now. And it's upside down. Yeah, I'm not going to get a good angle on this with the overhead cam not working inexplicably. What if I drop the resolution? Hold up. I'll stop tinkering with it after this. I know you're here for a stream and not for me to tinker with things. Although, if you've ever watched one of my streams, you know this is just kind of how it goes. There we go. It seems to be working. I dropped it to 40 FPS. Okay. I think we're good now. Cool. Alright. So. You can't see much, but... Oh! I forgot we were unboxing stuff. This camera is super delayed, by the way. It's almost like a second's worth of delay, but it's fine. So this is the first thing I've ever bought from Displate, which, if you've ever watched Linus Tech Tips, you've probably seen ads for. They make posters, and this is not an ad for it, by the way. They make posters that are metal and magnetized so that you can always keep them straight. And this is from an artist that I found on Twitter. They had this art, and then I went ahead and asked them if I could get a print of it, and they linked me to the Displate. It is a Halo Combat Evolved poster done in like an 80s movie style. And it looks freaking great. And so, I want to put this up somewhere, but honestly, my wall space is full at the moment. So, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to put it. It might go up where you can't even see that, but up there. I was hoping to have it somewhere on camera. I might cover up this Pokemon poster back here. You can barely see it. Next to the CRT, that's a Pokemon map poster. I might put it there because the cats have kind of torn that one up already. So I might do that. Someone asked what the quality's like. I want to see what it looks like without the protective film on it, to be honest. First, before I say 100% certain. Like, it's not super sharp, but it's not pixelated either. So I get the feeling that the art just honestly wasn't super sharp. Because, like, it's soft, but it's still detailed, and I don't see any obvious, like, chroma subsampling scaling issues or anything like that. Actually, I do have a problem with it. Never mind. That's going to bother me if I look too closely. There is... I don't know if you can see this, but there's a line that runs right here. You probably can't see it very well, but there's a line that runs right here. That's like not amazing. That's not supposed to be there. Actually, there's one at the top too. It might... There's one at the top too. It's almost like it was pressed that way or something. Like, it forms like a square on it. So that's unfortunate, but honestly at a distance I'm never really going to notice, so I'm going to be super OCD about it when I put it on a wall, but otherwise I'm really not going to care. Grab a Sharpie and fix. The problem is it runs through different colors and stuff, so I can't just fully black it out. But then you just attach this one little adhesive square to your wall. It doesn't need to be level, and then you magnetize this to it. So at some point when we're redoing this stuff, it's gonna go somewhere. I might take some of this stuff. You can't see that either. God dang it. I've got a bunch of stuff on this wall right here. It's all just thumbtacked on, so I might take a lot of that down and put it up there, and then move some of that little stuff that's hung up, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so that's the first thing I unboxed. We got a couple more unboxings to get through real quick here. More cameras! I do need more cameras. And ones that work better. But this is what I'm going to work with until we move. Alright. This is... if I'm thinking of it right. Yeah, so this is from Retro Game Treasure. This is a... basically like retro video game subscription box service. So if you remember the trend of like loot crates and hero crates and all those subscription boxes, this is like that, but for retro games. And you can sign up and you can say what kind of games you're interested in, what kind of games you actually want on a wish list. I filled out my interests, but I did not fill out like a wish list specifically, and I just wanted to see what my first one was. I think I ordered a 3-month sub, so I could just get like a few months at once. Not at once, but you know, pay for it at once. Thanks for your subscription. Alright, let's see what we get here. So we got games from 3 different consoles. And a couple I definitely don't have. So this is Monster Hunter Portable G for the PSP. It is the Japanese version, but that's fine. Pretty cool. We have a sealed copy, and it does have the map in it. So it is like a new in-box copy of Skyrim for PS3. Not exactly a hard-to-find game, and not exactly something I care about owning overall, since I have multiple copies of Skyrim, but I don't think I own it on PS3. So I'll keep it just for that fact. And then we've got 2 Xbox 360... no, we got an Xbox and an Xbox 360 game. So we have Black for the original Xbox. I heard good things about this. I have not played it. I will be stoked to play it on the BVM. And then we got Mass Effect for the 360, which I think I already have. I'm not 100% certain. So that might be trade fodder. But overall, some pretty solid titles for this. So, nice. Black should be backwards compatible with the Xbox One too. Nice. Okay. I'm always torn. Like, do I want to play original console and play on like my BVM, or do I want to play on the Xbox One X at like 4K? Alright, secondly, we have a box from Limited Run Games. I honestly don't know what's in it. I have pre-ordered so many things from their website that I just will randomly get boxes. I have no idea what they were. And in some cases, I've ordered the same thing twice, multiple times. Most recently, it's been the Tetris Effect 5LP vinyl soundtrack. I apparently ordered that twice and just never noticed. And so I ended up selling that one on eBay. But Black runs 4K on Xbox One X, looks super sharp. Ooh, okay. Oh, sick. Okay. Is that all that's in here? Yeah. Alright, so just one game from this. But we've got the limited run Secret of Monkey Island. With the, like, old school Saturn jewel case style. Pretty freaking sick. Let's crack this open. Looks like we only got a silver trading card this time. I have a lot of these limited run trading cards and quite a few gold ones. I don't care about them. If anybody, apparently people actually care about these, so if anyone wants to trade for them at some point for something of more real world value to me, or games, especially if you have Sigil, let me know, because I really don't, like, I have a lot of trading cards, and in fact that's going to be a recurring thing on my stream, is opening up Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card packs, but limited run trading cards I really don't care about. So in the box, looks like nothing special. We've got the big ass manual, and then we've got the disc mounted right in the middle there. Pretty sick though. I love this case design. Happy belated Father's Day, by the way. Thank you. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well, man. Seems like you've been doing good work these days.
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
Sorry. Got some weird emails. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. So yeah. So that, but is there a code wheel? I don't think there is in this one. Nope, doesn't look like it is. They have instructions for using the CD disc. Do not bend it, crush it, or submerge it in liquids. Do not leave it in direct sunlight or near a radiator. Be sure to take an occasional recess during extended play. I just love, do not crush it. Do not crush this disc. But no, it doesn't look like they included the code wheel. That's okay. Right, I'm gonna go fit this on a shelf real quick, and then we will get to destroying the set. I also have never set up the Stream Decks here. I have a Stream Deck and a Stream Deck Mini here, and have not set them up. Where should this go? Good enough. It'll go with my Super Nintendo games. That's fine. Alright. Oh. A couple more things to talk about. I did also just get in the Striker Dreamcast controllers from Retro Fighters. I pre-ordered from 2 different places. They do... here, let me... They do custom controllers for older systems and make them a little bit more ergonomic and stuff. And so, I'll pull this one out real quick. Rob dies a lot. By the way, the mic sounds beautiful in this room full of nerd-friendly acoustic diffusers. Actually, I don't know if you've seen the ceiling. Can you see that in this view? No, you can't. I don't have any sound blankets like I normally do, but I have most of the ceiling just covered in the cheapo sound tiles just to absorb whatever reverb I can. This is the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure. I've got no post-processing run on it whatsoever. It is just running through the Go XLR. I haven't figured out how to process it in a way that sounds good. I applied a super basic thing to it in, hey, what's up, Podcastage? I applied a super basic EQ compression preset to it in Audition for my mixer video yesterday, and it was the wrong one, and so it came out super boomy, and got a couple complaints about it, but that was because I was super pressed for time. That video was a disaster to make. Anyway, so Dreamcast controller usually has, actually I have one. This is the normal Dreamcast controller. It's got the cord coming out of the bottom like ridiculousness and the stick at the top and whatever. So this is what the new one looks like. I'm trying to block my face so it'll focus. There we go. So it's a little bit more like an Xbox or PlayStation controller. A little bit more comfy, gets the controller out of the top, and still has 2 VMU slots at the top. It mostly feels alright. The triggers feel not super great. Like, their triggers, they're good, but they got a little mush to them. The rest of the buttons are mostly clicky enough. It's fine. The only complaint that I've seen from anyone else has been that this top little bridge for the VMU is super thin, and someone was worried about breaking it, but I've never broken a controller on, like, for the most part in my entire life, so I'm not worried about it, but there you go. Is that a third-party Dreamcast controller? Yeah, it's the Retro Fighters Striker DC. I've got their Nintendo 64 ones too, the Brawler 64. So they're all done in this similar way. So that's the Nintendo 64 one as well. Thank you for the sub, Ahmeds. Much appreciated. So they do Kickstarter runs for the initial run of these controllers, and then you can just buy them on their own once they've met that to be able to manufacture them. And so I just pick them up every time because a lot of retro systems have really terrible controllers these days. And this is a lot more comfortable than the three-handed Nintendo 64 controller. Okay. I'm actually still waiting on my Striker DC. Oh. Oh, you had a forwarding address. I had apparently pre-ordered months ago from Castlevania, which is where I prefer to order most of my retro stuff. And then I ordered directly from Retro Fighters as well. So I got them about the same time. They were a couple days apart. Not too bad. I haven't had time to use it yet, but hopefully once we get the BVM set up and stuff, I will get to use it regardless. So I don't like... Oh yeah, I was going to use the turntable cam. I guess we're going to start tearing this stuff apart. Let me see. I move this. Like... There we go. Behold live with the tier 1 sub. You're a legend, bro. You're a legend, bro. You're a legend. Alright. Now we have a camera for down here. You're a legend. Your GC loader arrived today. Nice. I just got to pay for my pre-order. Like, they had the pre-order waves open to where you could pre-order and then you can pay for it later once they actually have some available. I just paid for mine. I am super stoked for it. I actually will take out first here. I haven't shown this off yet. I need to make a video on it. This is my Nintendo GameCube. It's got a custom badge from Rocker Gaming. I worked with him on a collab for this. It's got the Xeno mod in it. It's got LEDs for the controller plugs. So actually, if I plug it back to power here, you can see, well, you can't really see it. It's got RGB LEDs behind here and then a custom LED for up front. And then he got me the purple Game Boy player to match my Indigo game console. The only issue I've run into here, let me adjust my mic. The only issue I have run into here is that for whatever reason, now the disk drive isn't working. After I set up all the mods, got everything working, every time I'm playing a game from a disc, it'll play for like 30 to 45 seconds and then throw an error saying it could no longer play the game. And it's not the discs. I thought maybe I had a bad disc. It's every game. And so something's wrong. Also, underneath here, I have the SD2 SP2. So the kind of like the GC loader, but you plug a micro SD card into the serial port on the bottom. So for whatever reason, I think I'm drawing too much power. And that's what's happening. Because I've had this GameCube for quite a long time. About 2 years now. It was Xeno modded when I bought it. And it's never once had trouble playing a game until I put in this custom Game Boy player and the front panel. And so I think I'm drawing too much power. And Rocker has a video. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, by the way, Clockwork Dork. Hype Train. Rocker has a video on adjusting the power pots in order to give it more power for things like this, and so I just haven't looked into it yet. I also have a fan mod I'm going to do. I already have the parts for it. So I think it's drawing too much power, and I just need to tweak that, but I just haven't had time to tear it open and work with that again. Even fiddling with the drive spots isn't doing anything enough for me. Well, that sucks. Well, either way, I'm probably installing the ODE. So I don't need the disk drive anymore, especially since GameCube is honestly so hard to collect for. So I've got all this set up, and then I've got the various HDMI output options from the GameCube. So I'll be good to go there, although I also have the Carby Insurrection component cables, and then I have official component cables, and I will mostly be using that for playing now that I'm going to play on a BVM. But I think the Carby option gives you the option of running HDMI and component, so I can run HDMI to the stream and then component to the BVM, and I should be good to go there. And so I was working on a video originally testing all of these because the Carby component cables are actually really noisy. Like, they're really, really noisy compared to the official ones. There's this like weird band that goes across the screen. It's really obnoxious. I thought it was just the capture card I was using because that was when I was doing my 4K 60S Plus testing. But apparently it's these component cables in general. Like, Bob from Retro RGB confirmed that he heard other people saying that they had issues with them too. So I'm probably going to use the Carby HDMI output with my official component cables, which I have plugged in back here. They're the D terminal cables, not the component cables, but it's the same thing because it connects to component, but really obnoxious. So at some point I'm going to do a video, I guess on the second channel, to pair with my GameCube video, assuming I've ever finished this. I feel so bad. Rocker set up this well, I set it up, but you know, Rocker and I did this collab. He sent me all of this stuff to do the collab. And this custom controller, he made me this beautiful custom controller. We set all this up back in November, and it's still not done. I feel awful, but there's just been hang up after hang up, and then my schedule to make videos on this kind of stuff, especially when it's not, you know, deadline prioritized, has been super low with the baby and everything else. So it's been like 7 months now. I feel awful. He's been super nice about it though. So GameCube, one set of component cables. I'm working on 3D printed designs for some memory card organizers because my current one is made out of Legos and it's terrible. But I have memory cards everywhere. I need an organizer for them. Oh. Alright. We've got the PS3 next. I've just soft modded my PS3. Actually, I want to boot that up real quick. I want to make sure it's still working. I think I have things set up here properly for this. Oh, sound is working. There we go. Yeah, I want to show you this real quick. I need a controller though. Where did my PS3 controller go? Hello? Hello? Darn it. Oh, I know where they went. Never mind. Oh, I need a USB cable to pair it now. Screw it, we're using a wired controller. So just before we had the baby, I followed Mr. Mario's guide to soft mod my PS3. And so you can see here I kind of have a custom color scheme. Oh, hype train! What did I get a hype train for? What's up, Tim O'Toole? And then I have some custom packages installed, but most of what I have installed here, other than the homebrew apps, are actually my PlayStation Network download content. I had hundreds of games from PlayStation Plus that I could download onto here that filled up most of my hard drive. I have a 2 terabyte external hooked up to it, and I haven't figured out the process of actually using rips yet, but I do have some homebrew and some legally obtained downloaded titles. Not even, like, that's not even sarcasm. But I'm super stoked. I have waited 15 years, I want to say. That's too long. Since I was a junior in high school, I believe, to soft mod this PS3, because I had it where that last update, like 3.55 or whatever, God, that was loud, before it couldn't be soft modded for a long time, I had it ready to go, and it auto updated while I was at work, or in class. And I even had the TI-84 calculator app to soft mod it with. Came home and it was already updated, and I wasn't able to update for a very long time. I just wanted to see what the hell this was. Can I play? Oh, it needs to be 2-player. Lol. Never mind. It's fine. I just wanted to show you. Soft modded. Quick game. Nope. Turn off system. It's a PS3 Slim. But yeah, that was the last time you could soft mod again for nearly till 2017 or 2018. It was pretty crazy. Thank you for the tier 1 sub, Cujo! Alright. Real baby sub, baby. It is getting toasty. I'm going to turn this extra fan on. Okay. PS3 Slim. I prefer the Slim. The Slim was the best version on the console. I have a FAT. It's not a backwards compatible FAT, but I have a FAT that I have hooked up to the CRT behind me. I just use for like recording to VHS tapes and stuff from. I had a backwards compatible Slim that someone gave, or FAT that someone gave me, that needed like reballed, and I was gonna do it, but they also lost all of the screws, and eventually I just gave up on it. Dreamcast GDEMU is amazing. Yeah, I want to get that and the HDMI mod for it. Diablo poster? Oh, that ain't no poster. That's a full standee from GameStop when I worked there. It came out the year that I worked at GameStop, and so that was the only like standee I could get from them. Okay, so this is my component splitter. There's a couple different brands that make this one. This one's Cables to Go. It has optical audio input and component input, and then 2 component and optical output, so that I can send it. In this case, 1 copy will go to the BVM for me to play, and then 1 will go to my FrameMeister or OSSC to upscale for the stream. And it's super handy. It's also rack mountable, I believe. I still have the rack mount stuff for it. And so I actually got the rails in today. When we put the new TV stand in, I specifically had a smaller 7-inch by 19.5-inch shelf made that we will install the rack rails into. And I have a couple video switchers that are rack mountable that will get rack mounted in there so they're out of the way. It's going to be fabulous. Cujo asks, what's a BVM? It is a broadcast video monitor. It is a big-ass CRT. This specific one that I'm getting is 113 pounds. It is 24 inches in screen size. widescreen and 4x3. Alright, PS2 flat, or fat, soft modded with a hard drive, standard stuff. I have a blue Japanese PS2 as well. Got more memory cards. Remote for the HDMI switcher, which also interferes with my FrameMeister. Actually, it's vice versa. The FrameMeister remote activates my HDMI switcher and does funky stuff with it. So I have to like stick the remote under the shelf to use it, or else it'll send signals to the HDMI switcher. It's really annoying. Oh man, if you could see the mess of cables already just from the 8 inputs I unplugged. Was that the network adapter? Yeah, the network adapter is required to soft mod the PS2 because it's how you get hard drive support. So I use the network functionality a tiny bit to like, because you can copy games over to it, and frankly it's probably just as fast as the USB 1.0 connection on the front, but it's mainly just for the hard drive support. Oh, found a thumbtack in the middle of all that. That's no fun. Alright. Xbox controller. Headset. The custom GameCube controller rocker made me that I'll show in the video at some point when the video gets made. I got my wireless Wavebird GameCube controller. Got my Wii U tablet with a custom sleeve for it that my wife made me when we first started dating. Got my Wii U itself, which is also soft modded, or at least the Wii in it is. I don't think the Wii U is soft modded for like Wii U stuff, but I got a hard drive on it for playing downloaded, backed up Wii and GameCube games. I don't know if that part still works, to be honest. I did it once and never went back to it. So who knows? That's a 750 gig hard drive. Alright, now we get to more stuff. This is my rack mountable HDMI switcher. So it's 8 total inputs and 1 output. Unfortunately, it's not a matrix. It doesn't have a splitter built in, so that's unfortunate. But given that I use 6-ish of the 8 inputs, it's super useful. Tiny HDMI cable. It also has RS-232 control. I wish at some point I could like hook up all of my switchers with manual control and have like Stream Deck buttons for it, but I don't have anywhere near the knowledge required to do that, unfortunately. I keep finding when I have shelves set up like this, random feet to stuff, and then I never find what the feet go to. So I have like piles of these random rubber sticky feet in places, and I never have what they actually go to. What's up, Major Drum Kit? I have the network adapter I have it for Resident Evil Outbreak. Oh, nice. Next up, beefy boy. Actually, let me make sure nothing's in it. And the disk drive doesn't want to open. Alright, I hope nothing's in it. Next up is my Halo Custom Edition themed Xbox 360. I went on quite the adventure in 2017 trying to find this. The first one that I ordered was shipped terribly, and so the badge on the top was completely smashed and the controller was broken. So I sent that back. I felt bad for whoever owned it and was trying to sell it, but I sent it back. I was like, no way in hell. And so I got this one. It's clearly been dropped because there's some scuffing on the front. Some like white, almost like drywall looking stuff. And then the disk drive just does not want to open half the time. I do have it soft modded, but it only has the default hard drive in there, so I can literally only fit one game on the hard drive at a time. So I need to do a complete rework of it. It needs cleaned really badly. I need to upgrade the hard drive. I need to get rid of the clock capacitor that leaks. And then hopefully it'll be in working shape at this point. And it's another one of those things where most of the games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One X. So how worth it this is versus just keeping this as a collector's item, I'm not really sure at this point, but I'm mainly going to want to play it on the CRT. So for now, I'm just going to try to fix it up and upgrade the hard drive so that I can get maximum games on here. And hopefully fix the disc drive, because I do have quite a few original Xbox games on disc. Next up we have my Xbox 360 Slim with a 250 gig hard drive upgrade, and then I also have a 2 terabyte external hard drive for it as well. It is not modded in any way because that's way more complicated on Xbox. This is my second Xbox 360 that I owned. We had an Elite of the original 360 style, but that died in a flood in 2009. And so this was the one I bought for myself. It was 99 bucks on Best Buy clearance or sale or something. It may have been a refurb. It didn't come with a hard drive originally. Yeah, it was a refurb. And so at some point I do want to buy a modded Xbox 360, but it's such a mess. Like, modding a 360 seems like totally disastrous for some reason. And again, that's something that I have a crap ton of games for, so not too worried about it. My notifications are going off again. Everything seems fine. Active day on chat today. Okay. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. It's only Tuesday. I felt like yesterday, especially with all the streamer news coming out, like yesterday was only Monday, but it felt like it had already been such a long week. Oh, hello. Oh. This is the cool certificate and art stuff for that Dragon Ball Z 30th anniversary set that I bought. I didn't have anywhere to put it to keep it safe, so it was just sitting on top of my DVD VHS combo player. I still don't have anywhere to keep it safe, so I'm just going to set it back here for a minute. So this right here, this bad boy, if I can get it out. That's what she said, maybe. Can't reach the plugs. Hello? Alright, I'm going to have to open the door to this room in a minute. It causes more echo or reverb, but it gets really toasty in here, especially during the summer. I do not handle heat well, and I've already showered today, so I really don't want to get too sweaty again. Oh, that's the power cord. That's just attached to it. Oh, that blows. The power cord is not unpluggable, so I can't really pull this out right now. Well, this is a DVD combo unit. VHS, DVD, but it's a rare one that actually upscales the VHS. Most combo units only still output the VHS over composite and maybe S-video if you're lucky. And then it only uses the component or HDMI side for the DVD. This one actually upscales and deinterlaces the tape within it to 1080p 60 out HDMI, and you can just use a normal capture card to capture it. Now, it has some issues that prevented it from being my ultimate VHS setup, and I went back to using a more complicated actual VCR setup. But for most people, this is the way to go. It's pretty sick. And of course, it will copy the tape over to the DVD if you want something like that. And then below it, I have the tape deck from Technics that Explorographer sold me, so I can play my cassette tapes. But I can't get either of those out right now. So we need a system to kind of sort what all we have going here. Be comfy, my guy. Yeah, let me go open that door real quick. Ah, Sunkissed. Please sponsor me. Now here's the tricky part. Unplugging anything else without unplugging the streaming setup that I'm streaming with right now. Alright, let's set this over here. Unplug the HDMI switcher. I have a second HDMI switcher that was just used to like... Oh, it was used primarily at this point. I had upgraded, so it was originally the main HDMI switcher in here. And then once I got this bigger one set up in here, it became basically an audio extractor, because this HDMI switcher has Toslink and coaxial digital audio output, as well as 3.5 millimeter. So if you need audio routing, so I have the optical audio here running into my surround receiver to get that going. So I don't know how I want to integrate that in the future, since it's kind of a clunky setup. We'll figure that out on time. There's a fire in the retro room. What one thing do you grab? It's really tough. You keep asking this. You've asked that in a couple streams. I don't really know. Like, as sentimental as I am about all of this, I don't know what one thing I would care most about in here. You'd burn with the room, so now that's not an option. Well, the baby wouldn't be the thing that would be in here. Obviously, I would grab the baby if it was in here. Maybe my Pokemon games, because the save files, but otherwise, I mean, I'd just be worried about getting out. Like, I don't think it would be a priority, like, in any circumstance for me to grab anything. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the sub, UK Gunman. Alright, so next on our pull-out list, that sounds inappropriate, we have the XRGB Mini Framemeister. This thing takes component through this D-terminal connection and composite S-video and RGB inputs, deinterlaces and upscales to 1080p or 720p. Does a pretty good job at it, but isn't completely lag-free. There's like a frame's worth of lag, I think. But while a lot of people prefer the OSSC for a lot of stuff, and I do too, for like 240p content, but for 480i content, I actually prefer this. Like the PS2, interlaced games on the PS2 run through this, deinterlaced back out to 60 FPS, especially games that don't support progressive output on PS2, look amazing through this. This is my favorite way to play it. That being said, I know Citrus 3000 PSI is actually working on the PS2 HDMI mod, and I'm super stoked for that, because that will be the best way to actually get HDMI or clean video output of the PS2, because even with proper upscalers, the signal is so noisy out of the PS2. Thank you for the sub, Brianna McGreevy. Y'all are killing me with these subs today. Thank you so much. First stream in forever, still getting them subs. This is a SCART to RGB adapter cable for the Framemeister that has power input to keep the signal cleaner. Does a little better job than the default one. Did I miss the D terminal for GameCube cable? Nope, that's still wrapped up in this mess. Actually, there we go. So, official Nintendo GameCube output to D terminal with a D terminal to component output for the Framemeister. If this was the only component input I was using on the Framemeister, then I could just plug the D terminal directly into the background, or into the back of the Framemeister. But since I'm using multiple component inputs, I use this adapter and switcher. Oh, I am probably getting the YouTube subs. That's why I'm seeing more subs. That's hilarious. I can't figure that out. Streamlabs drives me nuts. I can't figure out how to separate them. Every time I try, it works like once and then doesn't anymore. Let me go to alerts and then refresh cache and hope that it stays. Thank you for this tier 1 sub, Swimming. Tier 1 sub for 5 months. Naruto GNS. Holy cow. Welcome. Glad you still have it. Yeah, you. I'm just grateful you sold it to me at a decent price, because they were incredibly hard to get at the time. Now, it seems silly to have bought it when I have all of these other options, but at the time, this was the best way for me to play it. And frankly, it beats out the Carby cable by a long shot, IMO, for component inputs. So I'm probably, like I said earlier, going to use... I can't remember if the Eon or the Carby allows you to use both. Hang on. Or maybe I can't. Because I've got both the Eon and the Insurrection Industries output HDMI mod. I know Eon's not a great company, but okay, so it is the Eon, which is great because I prefer the 1080p output of it. I have the Eon Mark II, and it's got the component output on it as well. So I'm going to run the HDMI into the switcher for stream, and then component output with the D terminal cables out to my BVM. That is my plan. Because the Insurrection Industries HDMI output is only 480p, I believe, and it doesn't have some of the firmware quirk, like cool stuff that the Mark II has. So I love Insurrection Industries. I prefer to support them as a company overall, but I got to choose the solution that works best in my setup. They were both given to me free anyway. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, Yeetza, and for the follow, Sebastian Noise. Don't know why you hadn't followed yet either. Alright, what else can we even work on here? I guess I need to pull out the surround receiver, so I'm just not going to hear anything, but that's fine. New follower, Sam Can Bam. Sam Can Ban. Sam Can Ban. Sam Can Bam. Okay. Turning off my receiver. Been a sub to your YouTube channel for years? Hell yeah. Breaking news. The USB 3 Cantalink is probably... Actually, hang on. What do I have set up here?
Breaking news. The USB 3 Cantalink is probably the same capture card like the USB 2 Cantalink.
Well, that really sucks. I got it in finally, but I haven't had a chance to make a video on it. I have like... Excuse me. Like 4 different knockoff capture cards in for review at the moment, and I just haven't had time to review them. But that's kind of crappy that they're the same thing. That's going to make it a more fun video, because I had a lot of comments on that video being like, oh, this is just proof that Elgato's been screwing everyone over and all of that. But I think you can see by the quality control issues of it, the lying on the specs, the limited specs, and the fact that the image quality is... the image quality of it is worse than a higher end capture card. I think to me that shows you're getting what you pay for. Like, yeah, there can be cheaper options, but they're not, you know, Elgato and AverMedia aren't just charging you extra for no reason. Did they color the little blue port, the port blue? Yeah. They colored it blue, but it is still USB 2.0 from what I've been hearing. Yeah. Because the Cantalink, the knockoff capture cards, are only using MJPEG instead of NV12 or YUY2. And MJPEG is literally motion JPEG. It's a bunch of JPEG frames. So you have a lot more grain and compression artifacting. Been looking for an HDMI input capture card with the least amount of latency. Watched nearly all of your reviews about capture cards, including the $30 ones. It's 2020 now. Would you recommend for pure video input? If you have a PCIe slot, I would go with the Live Gamer 4K because it's still the fastest. And if you're trying to play from a preview or something, it's still probably the best way to go. For Canon M200, I mean, if you're just using it for streaming, then I wouldn't go with the Live Gamer 4K. I'd just go with HG60S Plus. If you want lower latency than that, I don't know. I have updated charts on my website, EposVox.com. I have a post about it. I updated the charts in that post, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Can't get any audio through the USB 3 one? Oh, that sucks. Alright. Time to see if I can unplug all of the surround speakers from this and not ruin where they plugged in at, which is going to really suck. So this is my Onkyo surround receiver. I know I'm talking under the mic here. This beefy boy is a 6.1 surround receiver. So it is designed for both a center speaker in the front as well as a center speaker in the back, which I think I remember some companies experimenting with at one point, but otherwise is not like an actual audio format for the most part. And so I don't use that sixth speaker, of course, but I do have 5.1 surround set up here just with really crappy tiny speakers and then a really overpowered subwoofer for it. And that's the subwoofer. It is giant. The computer sitting on it. But it has all of those speakers run in banana plugs plugged into this, and I don't know that they're labeled. So that's going to be a fun adventure hooking it back up. I'll show you the back of it once I get it unplugged here, if I ever get it unplugged here, as to why I actually bought this off Craigslist, I believe, locally a couple years ago for the specific features it has. My wrist doesn't bend that much. Oh, it has an attached power cable too. I don't know why it was ever considered acceptable for devices to have full, especially expensive. Like, this thing would have cost a lot of money back in the day to have completely pre-attached power cables. Like, at least use the little, like, the PS2 style dual, just dual input power plug. What is this last plug I can't unplug? Is this the subwoofer cable? Jesus. Ah, there we go. Do you also got the weird cable in your USB 2 can't link box? I thought it had a cable pre-attached to it. I haven't looked closely at it yet. Oh, USB 2 can't link. Yeah, that one's just the extension cable because the plug's so fat. It doesn't fit in most USB ports, so it's just a little extension cable. The actual cam link itself comes with that too. Oh, I turned it on. No. Okay. So here are all the plugs. They're both banana plug and screw terminals for the speakers. And I know you can't really see this. But it's got a bunch, it's got component and composite inputs and outputs and S-video and optical audio. So it was the perfect switcher when I was thinking about it, or perfect receiver for all of my analog stuff, because I've got component inputs for PS2 and Xbox, I've got composite for older systems I don't have modded, and so on. These days I mainly just use it as a audio receiver because I run all my video stuff through video switchers, but it's all I really have right now, so I don't really know what else to do with it. As you get new stuff, I would check out getting an Extron Crosspoint. I actually have 3 of them. I have 3 of the big, like, 4U ones, and then I have a smaller, like, 2U one. They're way too big and complicated, and I don't feel like buying all the BNC adapters or the Phoenix audio connectors for it. But I actually have, like, 3 or 4. They're just way too big for this setup. Like, I literally, my rack mount thing I'm putting in my new TV stand is only 4U already. And so, in the future when we move, I'm hoping to have a literal, like, mini rack next to my entertainment setup so I can have a lot of that stuff on there. But for here, for now, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And like I said, I really don't feel like building those audio connectors yet. But I've been hoarding them for a while. I had a guy who did a bunch of local government surplus auctions and stuff, and so he would get that stuff all the time. And so I just, like, I took in a bunch. I have those. I have little kits that'll take, like, a CF card and broadcast video over either the network or a composite output for, like, schools or conference rooms and stuff. I've got a bunch of weird old analog stuff. You can order some occasionally. Yeah, like sometimes I think it was Retro Cables or whatever, the UK one would sometimes, or Canada, I don't remember which one. Would sometimes sell them, but they're only, like, they only list their listings certain times of the day or week, and it just never worked out. We got a red cable with HDMI male on one side and USB-C and Type A males on the other. What? I did not get that cable in my box. I just got a USB extender. That's bizarre. That doesn't make any sense. I do need a... I did order... Oh, I forgot. I ordered some Phoenix adapters that I could just screw in a 3.5 millimeter input, because I have a a VGA switcher for my desktop CRT upstairs or downstairs that has Phoenix output for the audio, and so I wanted to deal with that, but then Amazon lost my package, so probably not going to bother with it. Ugh, this thing is beefy and it gets really hot. I might have to install some fans in the back of the shelves of my new TV stand. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, you can link the picture. So this mess right here is how I was running audio from the Go XLR to the surround receiver. No, this way specifically was from the surround receiver to the Go XLR. I have a 1/4 inch, because it has 1/4 inch headphone jack, 1/4 inch stereo output running to mono outputs to a hum destroyer, because ground loop, and to 3.5 millimeter for the Go XLR. And then I have the same thing kind of coming backwards. I have 3.5 millimeter out to RCA running to the front input to get sound from the Go XLR to the receiver. Kind of ridiculous. What's the BVM going to reside on? It's going to reside on a custom TV stand that my dad and I built yesterday that's being on Sunday that's being delivered and reassembled tomorrow. Let me pull up the picture here. Do I have a display capture set up? I do not. Hang on one sec. Display capture. Transform. Fit to screen. So my dad and I built that on Sunday. Designed to hold the weight of the BVM. And we've got some round feet on it so I can slide it around. But we've got two big shelves here that'll hold most of my consoles and stuff. And then this is my rack mount shelf. So it's 19.5 inches by 7 inches for 4U rack mount that my 2 video switchers will go on. And then that's just an extra cubby because we had the extra space, so I don't really know what'll go here. And then we've got 2 giant extra shelves here as well. And then this is basically the exact width of the TV stand I'm working on now. And so it'll just slide in place. It'll be a lot taller. That way I actually have everything at eye level. I'll have to adjust the streaming stuff a little bit. And then computer will sit next to it. Here's the cable. What? What? USB-C to A to HDMI. What? That doesn't even work with this device. What the? What? What? But nothing about this device is Type-C. It's Type A right there. And plus, that's just a straight cable from HDMI to USB. There's no capture card built into that. What? Unless there is. Unless they somehow also packed those guts into that fat connector. And then they're powering it off one and capturing the other. But why did it... But you only paid for 1 capture card, so why would it come with 2? What? Cable is an adapter. So it's USB-C to HDMI from the phone? And then extra power? And then you plug that into the capture card. Okay. That could work. That's really obscure. Like, I don't think it's supposed to work that way. Well, like, that specific... Yeah, never mind. That's not what they were signing up for, I guess. But yeah, I got the BVM D24. It's 24 inches. It's widescreen. Also supports 4x3 stuff, of course. 1,000 total vertical lines. 240p up to 1080i. Comes with all of the expansion cards and control modules and stuff like that. 113 pounds. It's gonna sit on this right side, so it's got that extra leg supporting it here, so the weight should be fully carried. And then I've got a lip around the sides and the back for me to mount my microphone clamp and monitor arm to as well, so we should be good. And then this gives me more shelf space for more than I currently have hooked up. I ended up unplugging some of the stuff that I have originally wanted hooked up just due to routing messes and not having the space for it. But this gives me a lot more space. Like on this shelf, actually probably this one, since my HDMI and component switchers will be rack mounted here. I probably have my my surround receiver here, I'm thinking, or maybe on the bottom. And then my tape deck and DVD VHS combo player stacked on top of it here. And then we're looking at like Xbox, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U kind of on this shelf. And then I can start hooking up my Dreamcast, GameCube, Genesis, and then have this shelf as like a swap out shelf, because I have a lot of consoles that have top game slots, so I can't stack them. But behind a D32, yeah, I wasn't even going to bother with the D32. Will it be painted at the moment? No. At some point I would like to stain it, but that'll probably have to wait till we move, because I'm getting the CRT on Friday. So we literally, like, we have to have this in place by Friday, and there's just not enough time, especially with how much it's been raining, to actually get it stained. Especially since this is at my dad's house, not mine. So, yeah, it's just going to be plywood for now. But honestly, that's fine. Goes with the weird, janky, retro theme. It's cool. But at some point, we'll sand off the paint on the front if my dad didn't do that already, and then stain it. We might paint it. I don't know. If I paint it, it's going to be some obnoxious color. Getting a D24 is already a miracle. No kidding. Especially getting it, having it completely recapped and refurbished by Retrotech. And it's already low hours and in immaculate shape. Like, this was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's super expensive, but worth it. And it's big enough. Like, the issue with all the other CRTs that I have or find, even I was worried about the 20L5 that I was looking for, is that they're so small. I need a bigger screen to really play games on. I just do. Like, I can't do it super small. Seeing all those 4U slots makes me happy that my PC is finally in a 4U case. Alright, now we have a bunch of cable mess. And I can't get this out until I unplug it. So I think I need to get to the power cable for this. So, yeah. Thinking of getting a baldy as COVID has made hair go crazy. I couldn't do that. Lots of people can, but I couldn't do it. We're getting a haircut on Saturday, actually. I might get it dyed again. I was going to wait till it grows out, but I don't want to keep getting haircuts. So I think I'm going to get it and maybe dye it and then just leave it for a few months again. Check back in on COVID in a few months. I don't know. But I'm super stoked that BVM will be beautiful. And I've already made it clear, like, I need to be streaming more from here with that setup. Also, on one of the shelves, I got the stand for my Go XLR, but it blocked everything here. And the cable runs were too tight. So hopefully I'll be able to use that in that setup and stuff. What color dye? We're going with pink again, but I found a different shade of pink from Haley Williams's hair color line, the Good Dye Young. I don't know if I can actually use Good Dye Young at the place I'm going, but I sent it to the guy that does my hair and was like, can you at least match this if we can't use it? So we'll see. But like I said, it may not even happen yet. Greetings from Chile. Hey. Hot pink? No, it's more of like a pastel pink to go with my channel colors. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, actually. Here it is. So it's not really hot pink. It's more of a kind of lighter pastel-y pink. Oh, yeah, you got it linked right there. So some of this looks pretty saturated, but the example pictures I was seeing was much less bright, like punchy. I don't want it to be super punchy. I just want it to be kind of there. It's not Pepto pink. Seems like I need to buy the Live Gamer 4K someday. The Intensity Pro 4K's fan. Yeah, I hear bad things about its fan. That's one card I've never used and just see no point to. Alright. We're going to get some awkward angles here as I try to reach this power cord. Let me move the consoles out of the way first, actually. Gonna have to redo your LUTs with the new hair. No, I do actually struggle with, though. I had my LUT... Oh, wrong scene. I had my LUT completely, like, fixed for this setup here. And then whenever I turn on that big bright light, it hits the filter I have on my lens and kind of oranges up my face a little bit more. And so I need to get better white balance for it because that red really affects my skin tone. Red is really bad for my skin tone. Ironic since I'm getting pink hair, but that works a little differently. So I have had some trouble with that. But... Cool. My mic won't stay up. This arm is crap, man. This mic is also pretty heavy for a condenser mic. Oh. Alright, let's move the consoles. Do you lobster when exposed to vitamin D? Yep, I sunburn like crazy. That happened at my DreamHack Dallas trip last year. We went to, they had a arboretum that we went to. We forgot sunscreen. I was wearing a tank top. It was originally cloudy. By the time we got in there, it was bright sunny. I had the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life. I was miserable for like a week straight. I was like shaking. I was itching all over the place. It was awful. Does any character have pink hair and orange skin? God, no. I don't have orange skin. Alright, let's try to move in this whole thing. I pulled over my main camera. Its weight was like balanced on the TV stand. We need bully material, so you're gonna fix your white balance. Jesus. So this is why I don't cable manage. If you ever wondered why EposVox is terrible at cable management, it's because when I go to do things like this, all the cables are neatly wound up and zip tied up, and now I can't get to any of them. To be fair, there are like hundreds of cables here, though. I wonder if the next step should just be taking out this table. Or not the table, the TV. Room is amazing. Hell yeah, it is. I just need to stream from it more. Ah! I have defeated it. There's already an EposVox action figure in the works. Excuse me? What is this? It's not loading. No! No! Get out. Get out. Alright, well the TV has been removed. Big gaping hole here now. Gonna play some Halo 2 on the Insignia? On Insignia. What are you referring to? What do you mean not initially supported? I'm not sure what Insignia is, I guess. Slippery slope, opening random imager links on stream. Oh, I know it. Is it going to focus on my face? No. Somehow this autofocus went from being amazing to being terrible. Insignia is the replacement for OG Xbox Live. Oh, yeah! I heard MVG talking about that. I don't think I remembered the name. Hell yeah! Honestly, I was terrible at Halo 2. Like, it's my worst Halo. So... I'm not super stoked for it, but it'll be fun to play. I played a little bit on X-Link Kai or Xbox Connect after it came out, but... Like, I played on actual Xbox Live a little bit, but it was never... Halo 3 and Halo CE were my fun ones. Whoa, my bitrate dropped out. That was weird. My bitrate took a tank. It's doing it again. What is happening? My network's crapping out. There we go. I dropped the bitrate. I think it's more stable now. Sorry about that, guys. Getting drop frames ever since you moved the TV. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's this camera. It's genuinely been since I moved the TV. That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. I might have to end the stream because I can't just like fix that. Let's move the TV. No, it's still fluctuating all over the place. I dropped it down to 5 megabits per second, but it's like, it's going over the bitrate. Like, it's not like I'm running out of bandwidth. It keeps shooting above the bitrate and then dropping frames. Super strange. CPU's not being taxed at all. Yeah, that was weird. I'm not reporting any more dropped frames. Like, the bitrate is still fluctuating, but the dropped frame counter has not changed. Getting an older capture card if on the market. Sometimes you can get them used cheaper, but like with the COVID market, sometimes they're even more expensive. So there's nothing wrong with buying a used capture card, correct? Yeah, I have no idea why it's crapping out like this. I've never had it happen up here. Or anywhere. I am over Wi-Fi. Like, I'm over through Google Wi-Fi to connect to my hub downstairs. I'm wired to the Google Wi-Fi hub, but I can't, like, improve the signal. Sorry, guys. If it's jumpy, I can't really do much about it. Still looks good for over Wi-Fi. Huzzah! We got it. The little Stream Deck Mini. Now the problem is getting rid of all the cables. There's so many cables here. What's the overhead cam looking like? Is that usable? Hello. It looks like I dropped frame stabilized finally, so maybe there was just something interfering with the Wi-Fi. Hope everybody's week is going well. Oh, I unplugged my monitor on accident. Told you the TV blocked the signal. It's funny because the Wi-Fi doesn't at all come from that angle. It's the opposite direction. I was looking for this super long HDMI cable recently. Now I know where it was. What cameras are you using for the overhead and the other side? This overhead view is the Econ HDR USB webcam I reviewed a while back. And then the one from the back view is a generic GoPro knockoff that I covered in one of my camera videos recently. Looks like crap, but it's all I could reasonably mount up there. Wow, I left my knife just sitting here completely open. Not smart. Do you have any 360-degree cameras for a potential room tour? Yeah, I've got the Insta360 One X. Ah. Okay. Hey, what's up, Gaming Maniac? We practice safety in this retro setup, not at all. Not at all. Alright, now I get to tear down the monitor I just mounted up here on this giant monitor stand. I'm gonna turn off the neon lights for a bit. They make it very hot in here. Watch a lot of your YouTube videos. I'm glad you found them helpful. No reason to be starstruck. I'm just a fool making a mess like everybody else. Cable management is the worst. Suffer for our entertainment. I don't know about that now. What's a BVM? It's a broadcast video monitor. It's a big CRT TV that was used in like video production studios and things like that. They are super expensive, super bulky, but extremely high quality for a CRT. This one in particular is 24 inches, 16:9 support, so it'll support widescreen games. It supports 240p up to 1080i, while still being completely analog and lag free. It is a general not hidden gem, Holy Grail find. And I have only the support of the retro community to thank for me actually tracking that down. Thoughts on WWDC 2020? I didn't really look at much of it. I called that they were doing ARM Max soon. I've been predicting that for a year now. I'm excited to play around with it. The new macOS 11 UI looks a little clunky, but that's fine. I look forward to getting a ARM-based iMac, I think. We'll see though. It does, of course, make Hackintoshing harder, but frankly, my Hackintosh experience has been fairly miserable, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's literally the only thing I paid attention to. Not a big Apple guy. I have my iPad, and that's about it. Found another foot to something, but this one's completely like degraded. So whatever device that was a foot to, it's no longer a foot. Urgh. What's that beautiful 60%, by the way? From Velocifier. It's some generic Amazon keyboard, completely wireless though. It even has two different charging ports for whichever side you want to charge it on. With the batteries in it, it lasts for months. Like, I've only ever charged this thing 3 times. I never turn it off. It just sits here. I use it for streaming computer. I've had it since 2017 or 2018. I've only charged it like 3 times. It is mechanical. It's a little mushy, but for like a little streaming keyboard, it is perfect. It's like 20 bucks too. Or 40 maybe. I tried to use it as my gaming PC keyboard, but I needed F keys and stuff. It's radio, so 2.4 gigahertz. It's got a little receiver like the Logitech stuff. I think it does support Bluetooth mode. Like, I think it can do Bluetooth as well. I could be completely mistaken on that, though. I've never used it for Bluetooth. I hate most Bluetooth stuff, to be honest. I've never had good luck with it. Dude, wireless mice and keyboards, like, I'm so done with keyboard and mouse cables. especially with all the low latency tech these days, like we don't need our keyboards and mice to be wired anymore. And those are like, I know they're the simple cables because you don't usually move your keyboard that much or whatever, but the keyboard cable is like a big fat cable right through the middle of your setup. And it's always just like in an awkward spot. Whereas a wireless keyboard is great. I have the first Logitech wireless gaming keyboard, the Orion Spark. But it doesn't have RGB, and as silly as that sounds, for my eyes, I actually like having the extra backlight. And so I just end up missing the flare of RGB. And it's hard to get cool keycap sets without spending a ton for Roamer G switches. I think they have some wireless ones that aren't Roamer G now. Like, they seem to have backed down on their Roamer G push. I actually liked Roamer G. It was really quiet for streaming and still felt like Cherry MX Blues with O-rings. Just a little stubbier, but they don't fit normal keycaps. Whoa. I was hitting my subwoofer cable there. Oh yeah, side micro keys are the worst. Because you always hit them when you're trying to just hit the edge of the keyboard. Like, they seem convenient, but muscle memory, like, I'm just used to like going as far over as the keyboard does, and I just kept hitting them on accident. And the wrist rest on the one that I had was really not great. Oh, something's triggering my subwoofer real bad. There we go. Sorry, I know this is a boring part. This is just cable management, basically. Clearing out cables. I got about half an hour left before I need to cut off the stream, though. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. PS2 HD Retrovision cables. If you're looking for high quality component cables for your game systems, even systems that don't normally output component, HD Retrovision is the way to go. Alright, I gotta find that subwoofer cable. There we go. That was gonna drive me nuts. Original Xbox component cable. Whoa. What happened? Original Xbox component cables. Very high quality if you get first party. I think HD Retrovision is working on Xbox Ones at some point, but they haven't made them yet. You still doing stream rating streams? When I can. It's not like whenever it's my shift for the baby, I can't really just stream when it's just me and the baby. So I haven't done streamer news or stream critique in a month, 2 months now since the baby was born. Apparently whatever I did switched scenes and triggered filter keys for sticky keys. Weird. I swear I don't normally have a pile of garbage in this room. That was all the stuff I unboxed today. So this is just a big extended monitor arm from Vivo. Vivo makes great monitor arms. So does Arctic now. But goes up above my TV. So I have a monitor up above it for multi-view monitoring and chat monitoring. And then I use the Elgato multi-mount to mount my key light over here. I am switching out this crappy light for an actual Elgato key light though. Hi Remby, the stream says hi. Oh, we're being invaded by cats. Kits. You finally have a stream schedule based in the evenings? Nice. We'll get there. We're still struggling to get him to actually, like, so we are both awake during the day and he's asleep at night. We're not quite there yet. Deathly allergic to cats. Come on now. So is my mom, to be fair. Alright, I need to remember this is the power supply for my light. Don't know if I remember that. Wow, I'm actually getting really sad seeing this entire setup just like disappear. Oh man. I wasn't expecting that. It's like, so much work went into that, like building this. 2 5-meter cables for 18 euros or 5 5-meter cables for 19. Definitely 5. Weren't you going to use a shotgun mic in the retro room? I did for the entirety of having the retro room set up. It was only, when I got the LCT mic, I just wanted to try it in here because it's going to be a much nicer sound. But if I'm going to have so many autofocus issues with it, then I'm frankly, I'll get rid of it for that. But it also might pick up, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do a microphone with the CRT, because the CRT is going to have mic noise. Like my RE20, whenever I put it up against my desktop CRT, it produces a bunch of noise. So I haven't figured out what the plan is yet. If both this and the shotgun mic pick up CRT noise, then I'll probably have to switch to the SM7B, because that was the most shielded mic. Audio is never simple. It is not. Huzzah! Freed these things. To be fair, that's not true. Audio can be quite simple if you are someone who sets and forgets. If you just set it up and leave it, you can have an audio setup you never touch for years. But when you change components all the time like I do, it's not simple anymore. If we finally switch to digital. No! Digital audio is bad, okay? I'm a bad influence on you, Cujo. When are you gonna learn? Thank you for the sub, Gaming Maniac. Thank you. We're getting a lot of emotes. Well, you don't owe me anything, but I greatly, greatly appreciate your sub. One day I'll actually stream consistently and get partnered here on this there Twitch machine. Yeah, the cable for the Wii and the Wii U motion bar is, or light bar is super long. It's obnoxious as hell. Another problem. Thank you for the sub, Sebastian Noise. Holy cow, you guys. Another problem I'm going to run into is these are really crappy unshielded speakers. And so last time I put them up against the CRT, they were affecting the image of the CRT since magnets. So I think I'm gonna attach a layer of black cine foil up under the top of the TV stand we built. That way it hopefully shields a bit for the speakers. I don't know how well that'll work or where the speakers even need to go yet, though. BBK! What's up? Yeah, we have completely destroyed our setup. It's really upsetting. It's really upsetting. Oh, man. Hello? RIP! Alright, we should be live again. When I was unplugging stuff, it looks like I temporarily flipped off the power switch, which cut off the Go XLR and turned off my network switch for a second. That really sucks. The answer to what does this cable do? Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, guys. We're back, but we won't be back for long anyway. That's the problem when you yank on cables a bunch and they're all wired together somehow. Actually, that's about all I can do. Here, hang on. Face autofocus. This is about all I can do until, or without actually unplugging stuff for the streaming setup. So I think I need to wrap it up here, guys. I know I just kicked it back online. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully we'll have more streams in the future coming soon, especially with this new setup. I will have a whole video about this setup in the works. Hopefully come out within a week or so. But yeah. I got a quick question here from Hibernation X. I have my bitrate set to 5,000, but while streaming, OBS sometimes goes near 6,000. So CBR in X264 or H264 is not technically like completely constant, so that happens. It's nothing to worry about unless it's going over your like bandwidth. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I need to start actually unplugging the setup stuff, so I'll see you all later. Thank you so much. Go follow me on Twitter. We'll have big stuff soon. I promise. Peace out. I don't know where my ending stream scene is. There we go.